Yeah, when he's ready, and if he can fight at the super bantam class, and if our timing perfectly each other, yeah, I'd have to wait for him to challenge me.
As for the Bam Rodriguez fight, Inoue said he'd take it, but it was all about timing, and I completely agree. Bam Rodriguez has a couple of divisions to go before he reaches where Inoue's at right now, and whilst I don't think naturally there's a giant size difference between them.
3 years, but gut feeling, yes or no, do you two ever meet in the boxing ring?
I believe so. I've always believed so, that we will meet eventually down the line, but it's just a matter of time.
After his unanimous decision win over Alan David Picasso, Naoya Inoue called out Bam Rodriguez as one of the fighters he'd like to face next. Inoue dominated Picasso to stay unbeaten, and then spoke openly about the future, mentioning possible matchups fans want to see. While most reports focus on a potential super fight with Juno Nakatani, Inoue also referenced Bam Rodriguez as someone he'd be interested in facing if the timing and weight class work out. Specifically, if Bam can move up to Inoue's division.
A fight against one of the other super champions, Jesse Bam Rodriguez, if he came up in weight.
たくさんのファイターが井上さんに挑戦したいと言っています。その中にバム・ロドリゲス選手もいると思います。階級をもしかしたら上げてバム選手と対戦するということは可能性はあるんでしょうか。
そうですね、彼が、階級を上げてきてスーパーバンタム級という階級でタイミングが合うのであればそこは、待ち受けたいなと思ってます。
Yeah, when he's ready, and if he can fight at the super bantam class, and if our timing perfectly each other, yeah, I'd have to wait.
If not Inoue and Bam Rodriguez ever fought, it would be one of boxing's richest and most talked about matchups. Inoue is significantly more experienced, a long-established pound-for-pound superstar, an undisputed 122 pounds champion. While Bam is still building his resume at lower weights, because of that experience gap, many analysts see Inoue as a favorite. However, the money and fame such a fight would generate for both fighters will be massive given their high profiles in sport. Rodriguez himself has publicly acknowledged that a bout with Inoue isn't realistic right now because he's competing at 115 pounds and needs to move up in weight, possibly running through 118 next before he could challenge at 122. Many insiders believe Bam must first unify at 115 and then prove himself at higher classes before Inoue's showdown could genuinely materialize, meaning several big fights stand between Rodriguez and the dream bout with Inoue.
For the Bam Rodriguez fight, Inoue said he'd take it, but it was all about timing, and I completely agree. Bam Rodriguez has a couple of divisions to go before he reaches where Inoue's at right now, and whilst I don't think naturally there's a giant size difference between them, Inoue is much more experienced than Bam Rodriguez is. Not only that, but he's used to fighting in that high division now. His body's had time to grow into it. And with the age gap, there's about 7 years between them. Bam's still only 25. He's got plenty of developing to do. I'm just not sure we're ever going to see that one. I mean, look, I'd be so damn excited if it got made. Maybe they would do it at a catchweight or something. I don't know. But I do believe there'd be a lot of money in that fight. I mean, a lot of money as far as those lightweight divisions go as well, because they're two massive names. And there's no one around that can really even contend with either of those guys. I mean, I mentioned the Nakatani fight before, and whilst I don't like to ever make predictions without studying properly, I've already looked at Nakatani in quite some detail, and I just don't believe he's a great style matchup for Inoue. I mean, sorry, I think he's a good style matchup for Inoue, and that I think Inoue will find it quite a comfortable fight. I don't see Nakatani being able to do too much to Inoue, but I need to sit down and really think about that one before I call it clearly. Bam Rodriguez, on the other hand, he offers a whole different puzzle. I think he's an elite level fighter already at 25. I think his frame's big enough that he can eventually go up to the same division as Inoue and beat up there with him and fight in that division. But also, you don't want to rush him. You don't want to put him there for putting him there's sake, just because there's money on the line, because he's going to be a superstar, and I'm sure there's always going to be some degree of payday on the line. But yeah, I mean, if they can make that fight, I think they should, because you don't get many opportunities to make mega fights like that, as I say, especially in those lower weight divisions. So, look, for me, if you're Inoue, there's two ways of looking at it. Either you let Nakatani go and create a bit more hype around his name, go and get a better win than what he just had, or you just get that super fight done, because there ain't going to be many Japanese super fights. Not for Inoue anyway, not right now. Or you say, let's do Bam next. But either way, I think he should fight both of them before he's done. I would love to see that. The other, and I suppose the third option that we should maybe briefly mention is Inoue goes up another weight division. I think in terms of...
Promoter Eddie Hearn has been clear that a Naoya Inoue versus Bam Rodriguez fight is exciting in theory. But right now, the two stars are at very different stages in their careers. Hearn has described a potential matchup as somewhat of a fantasy fight at the moment because Rodriguez is still competing at super flyweight, while Inoue is established at super bantamweight, meaning Bam would need to move up 2 weight classes to make the bout happen. Hearn has emphasized that Rodriguez isn't ready for that leap just yet. He needs time to grow into higher divisions, unified titles, and to gain more experience before making a shot at one of boxing's biggest names. Once Rodriguez moves up in weight and tests himself at bantamweight and super bantamweight, only then does Hearn see a realistic pathway for a clash with Inoue.
I mean, right now, Bam is 2 divisions away from Naoya Inoue. I think, size-wise, it's an advantage, a major advantage for Inoue.
What do you think of size doesn't always come together?
It's a different style, it's different stages in their career. The movement of Crawford was just completely all wrong for Canelo right now in his career. Inoue is a very good fighter. I think 2 top 5, top 6 pound-for-pound guys. This fight coming up with Puma on the ring card on November 22nd in Saudi is a brilliant fight. Talk about clash of styles. That's going to be amazing to watch. When Bam wins that fight, he needs 1 belt to become undisputed. So that's Taraji now fighting Garcia. Bam against Taraji. I know he's got big hopes of fighting in Japan himself. If we go over to Japan and fight Taraji for undisputed, that would line up a potential fight with Japan. We expect a new way to fight Nakatani, I think it's on. But yeah, Bam is 100% moving to bantamweight. Does he go to super bantam in time? Does he catch a new way in time? What a fight.
Sergio so down in that fight.
You've been calling for that fight for a long time. Your message is you want this little great giant man to go 2 divisions out of monster in a way. I just think
Sean Porter breaks down a potential fight between Inoue and Bam Rodriguez, explaining why he leans toward Inoue. He points out that Inoue has several advantages, including age, size, and experience, which create a noticeable gap in his favor. INE is slightly older, physically stronger, and more seasoned in high-level competition, giving him an edge over Rodriguez. While Bam Rodriguez is skilled and fast, he would be moving up in weight from around 114-122 pounds toward 126, which could make things more difficult. Porter emphasizes that the fight would still be exciting, but Bam needs more experience and strength to match someone of Inoue's caliber. He describes Inoue as a monster in terms of physicality and skill, suggesting that these factors make him the favorite. Overall, Porter sees it as a thrilling matchup, but notes a clear advantage for Inoue.
I think with this 2 right here, I think that gap in that weight actually does matter. I think that gap in that weight, Inoue being slightly older, more experienced and things like that, I am inclined to favor Inoue in this fight, even though I haven't seen as much anyway as I've seen Bam. But the reason why I favor is because the age gap, the size gap. That's big for the little guys. And Inoue is a monster. He's a monster. So I think that Inoue would be the favorite and on the betting odds and the blah 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 blah. And it's a hell of a fight, but I just feel like there's a gap there. There's a gap there that I don't like.
And just meet at 122. Just Bam comes up.
Bam would be coming because I think Bam said like 114.
Yeah, he 114.
Yeah,
I'm saying if they do fight.
Oh yeah. You got to meet at 122. Yeah, because he's at 126 now.
Oh, he kept going.
I think he's at 126 now, right?
He got another fight. His last fight was actually at 122 still.
Okay, so
but yeah, he could be going up for this fight.
Mm-hmm. I think
super bantamweight.
I think Inoue is on record for saying 126 is as high as he's gonna go. I think he's on record for saying that. But again, once you get there and you see how much more you might have left and blah 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 blah, I do think that's a hell of a fight.
Yes. I would like to see Bam get more experience.
Bam has to have more experience.
Mm-hmm. That's the number one thing.
He has to have more strength. Let me say this real quick, and now I think we can get out of here. Strength doesn't mean putting on muscles so that you can hit somebody and clock them. There's strength that you need to withstand what you're getting hit with as well. And Bam has to really build his body up a little bit more, getting in the ring with somebody like Inoue, who has both speed, power, quick, who has the